sunshine and lushed by the rain, says gem like and fair between mountains and seas. Your children salute you, dear land of the free.
We celebrate this 30th anniversary of the Expo. As we celebrate I want this to extend my heartiest congratulations to everyone who has been involved in the Expo, including the First Minister, the late Michael Sri Chan, and the first organizer, the late Vic Nemdari. Congratulations to all. Congratulations, Minister Susan Rodriguez, and you have a great foundation to build on. Let the next decade be an even greater one.
We had previous ministers of tourism, Mansoor Nadir, Sri Chan, Onij Waldron, and Minister Irfan Ali, now President Irfan Ali. So, Minister Rodriguez, you have a lot to work on because of the foundation laid by those previous ministers. And Guy Expo is business oriented. And I congratulate you and the organizers for a successful 30th anniversary Guy Expo.
So happy to celebrate 30 years of Guyanese entrepreneurship, resilience, and innovation. From humble beginnings to the premier trade show, where our small and medium enterprises at this event continues to have a powerful platform, opening doors to new markets, creating invaluable connections, and fostering growth across every sector. Learn from each other, share your experiences, and continue to push the boundaries of what is possible.
It is a privilege to be part of this celebration as the current Minister of Tourism, Industry and Commerce. I stand on the shoulders of the distinguished ministers who served before me, those whose vision and hard work in Guy Expo have shaped it into what it is today. I am proud that the People's Progressive Party civic government has always recognized the tremendous value Guy Expo brings, creating opportunities for our local manufacturers, especially our MSMEs, to connect and grow. What a wonderful platform it is also for the Guyana Tourism Authority to demonstrate with all of our partners in tourism the exquisite beauty of Destination Guyana. As we celebrate this 30th anniversary, I wish to congratulate all of the exhibitors and private sector partners who have stood by us and believed in Guy Expo over the years. Your passion, creativity, and innovation continue to inspire us all.
30 years of Guy Expo. 30 years evaluating our business landscape, our economic landscape, and the development in Guyana. Of course, in the last 30 years, our country has changed in many different ways. The transformation today in positioning our country into the next 50 years is one in which we're investing heavily in building a business ecosystem and diversifying our economy in such a way that we build sustainability, resilience, and invest in industries that will create and sustain the future jobs of Guyana and the world. So I want to congratulate the team for putting together the Expo once more. I remember all those who were part of this 30-year journey from the inception to today. I celebrate this magnificent product that has now become a part of our national calendar of events. Thank you.
Now, Guyana is truly blessed, ladies and gentlemen, to be led by a president who transformed how we experience Guyana and, of course, how the world experiences us. Without a doubt, President Ali is one of our most innovative who continues to invest in our people through systems, education, and empowerment that elevates our business acumen. Let's put our hands together and welcome His Excellency Dr. Mohammed Irfan Ali, the President of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana.
Thank you very much. Please have your seats. Our dear Prime Minister and his wonderful wife, Mrs. Phillips, members of Cabinet, members of the diplomatic community, members of the private sector, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. You know, one of the greatest joy of any person who is given the responsibility to lead is to have a remarkable team. And I am blessed to have a remarkable team in the cabinet supporting the development of our country. And I'm so proud to see the growth and development of members of this team and members of the government, and to see how they're evolving every day into their own space and bringing the sense of urgency and the sense of pride and the sense of that oneness in their daily work. I'm remarkably proud of this. You know, leadership matters. Vision matters. And I want to spend 2 minutes explaining to you why it matters. In 1991, the total manufacturing output was estimated at US $13.1 million. And you might ask why I am telling you what it was estimated at 13.1 million US in 1991. And we have Kati and all the private sector leaders. Remarkable. This group of private sector leaders are remarkable. I want to really applaud them. They are plugged into the development of this country. From Jerry Jr., you know, far outweighs the senior. They're remarkable people. Now let me say why it's important, leadership. In 1991, the total manufacturing output was 13.1 million US dollars. But guess what? That 13.1 million US dollars in 1991 came down from $71.7 million a decade prior. So in 1991, the manufacturing output fell by 81.6% when compared to 1981. Just understand this for a moment. The manufacturing output in one decade fell by 81.8%. Then by 2006, this is without oil and gas. Without oil and gas, we grew that manufacturing output to 161.58 million US dollars. Without oil and gas. And then from 2006 to 2014, again, without oil and gas, we grew that manufacturing output from 161.58 million US dollars to $249.57 million US dollars. And leadership is important. And then came 2015 and the years after to 2020. Now, with oil and gas, in 2018, the manufacturing sector output declined to $223.51 million US dollars from the 2014 position without oil and gas at $249.57 million US dollars. Leadership matters. Governance matters. Vision matters. Confidence matters. And hard work is essential. Hard work is essential. Between 2015 and 2020, the average decline in food manufacturing was 1.96%. The decline was sharper for other subsectors like clothing, footwear, leather, and wood products. We just heard from Rafiq about wood products. That wasn't long ago. That was 2015 to 2020. And then came 2020. And since 2020, Guyana manufacturing sector has experienced exponential growth at an average of 13.1% annually. Leadership matters. Hard work matters. The government we elect matters. So too is the opposition you look at. Between 2021 and 2024, foreign direct investment totaled $209.97 million US dollars. 3 times that of 2015 and 2020. 3 times the growth. Why? Confidence. Why? An understanding that Guyana was open for business. When you look at non-performing loans reported for the manufacturing sector, and I'm only speaking about manufacturing sector. When you look at non-performing loans for this sector, which between 2015 and 2020 increased exponentially, between 2020 and 2024, non-performing loans declined by 51% under this People's Progressive Party civic government. So, I say that to say to you that sometimes we can be carried away. We can be carried away with simplistic messages. We can be carried away with the bubble of social media. We can be carried away with the disinformation and misinformation that characterize our policy environment today. But when you come to the facts and you examine the truth, you will have a full and thorough understanding as to the development and the pace of transformation of our country. And I applaud those in the public and private sector who are driving this pace of transformation. And we are meeting at a time when our economy just undergone its half-year checkup. And what were the outcome of the half-year checkup of our economy? The checkup shows our economy is strong, robust, and full of energy. The numbers tell a stunningly positive story. The economy demonstrated strong growth, with real oil GDP growing by 7.5%. A non-oil economy, that is the heart of Guyana, everything besides oil and gas, grew by a breathtaking 13.8%. Let me ask you, is that a sign of a sluggish economy or a powerhouse on the move? And let me say this to our detractors. You don't need to remind us about our commitment, whether it's cash grant, incentives, subsidies. You don't need to remind us. We know what our commitments are, and we are going to deliver on every one of them faster, better, greater. So find your place, stay in your lane. Don't get beside yourself. Understand what level you are boxing at. Build your repetition before you come to the heavyweight. This is not a toy or economy. This is real business. This is not the simplistic architect of beating a system. This is not the simplistic journey of stealing from the system. This is the hard work of growing wealth, building prosperity, and enhancing livelihood. This is serious business. This is not social media game. This is not a comedy show. This is hard work that requires technical competence, that require brain power. AI can't help you with brain power. I say that because if we continue to let simplistic messages infiltrate our brains, we can destroy all that we are building. So in this half-year checkup, I had to ensure that you understand the type of infection that we have to safeguard the economy from. Let us look at agriculture. Sugar is far from where we want it to be. But we are seeing signs of recovery. Not at the pace at which we want that recovery. Let me be very clear. If the managers in Gaisuku can't deliver to us next year from the investment we are putting in Gaisuku, we will have to find a new management system to give us the type of results that we are investing to get. There is no shortcut. I want to be clear as your president. We must get the results we're investing for. We must get the productivity we're investing for. And whilst sugar is not yet out of the woods, I'm very pleased to learn of a partnership that would see local and international investors coming together and investing in a sugar refinery here in Guyana. And that project is earmarked to be announced before the end of this year. We saw bauxite production exploding, gold decoration up by 10.9%, but still not where we want it to be. And I want those who enjoy the benefits of the incentives we have given for gold mining, those who still are not complying with the declaration, we are going to come after you hard and strong. We will find you and you will lose your business. You are reaping the benefits from this sector. You have a responsibility to declare your goal, and you have a responsibility to do so not by choice but by law. And I want to say to the Guyana, the Gold and Mining Association, that we thank them for embracing this message, for the Georgetown Chambers and the Private Sector Commission for embracing this message. Imagine, from one gold smuggler alone, this economy lost more than $190 billion. One gold smuggler alone. We must ensure our system does not produce those kind of people anymore. Our system must be locked in, must be protected, and must be designed to ensure those leakages are removed. Imagine if that money that was stolen through smuggling was available for our small and medium-sized enterprises, was available to support our cash grant program. Imagine the additional difference it would have made. But do you want to see the most visible sign of our boom? Just look around. The construction sector grew by nearly 30% so far this year. 30%. Point to one jurisdiction, one economy where the construction is growing by 30%. What this means: new building, new roads, new bridges, jobs being created, investments being made, and in the common man term, money circulating. And what about the pulse of our modern economy? The services sector. The services sector grew by 6.6%. This includes professional services, which grew by a whopping 41%. And why did professional services grow by 41%? It is because of the investment we are making in our human capital, bringing them up to par and giving them the capability, the capacity, and the opportunity to deliver service at a higher and higher level. That is why policies backed by investment our reserve grew by 12.5%, and broad money grew by 14.9%. Our banks are well capitalized. Their capital adequacy ratio is at a very, very healthy 19.3%, which is much bigger than the international safety requirement. This means that they have strong buffers to withstand any unexpected shocks, and which also means that they have the capacity to lend more, reduce the interest rate, and reduce the collateral requirement that is needed. But I must commend the bank too, because they are lending more. The people and businesses, to the people and businesses of Guyana, credit to the private sector grew by 7.7%. And guess what? The level of bad loans, the stock of non-performing loans improved when compared to June 2024, accounting for 2% of total loans. 2% of total loans. What that means, not only are people getting loans, but they are in a position to service those loans. They are generating enough revenue and wealth. Enough capacity is being built in the system that is enabling them to service those loans. Our financial system is flush with liquidity, with liquid assets exceeding the statutory requirement. Listen to this, AG. Your job is not only to understand the laws. Your job is to understand how the laws lead to wealth creation. The liquid asset exceeded our statutory requirements by 107.9%. 107.9%. This means that there is plenty of money available in the system to support continued growth and investment. Even our non-bank sectors are flourishing. The insurance sector assets grew by 10% and are well above their liabilities. The private pension sector is also healthy, with its asset growing by 9.3% and its funding level at a very secure 165.5%. That is our half-year checkup. So what is the verdict? Here is the bottom line. Our economy isn't just strong and robust. It is firing on all cylinders. Our non-oil economy isn't just performing. It is putting on a stellar performance that the world is watching. Our financial sector isn't just sound. It is a fortress because of good leadership, because of strong leadership, because of confidence. So this is not just a positive report card. This is a sign of a booming economy. It is a sign of an economy that is ripe with opportunity. It is a sign of an economy that is ready for investment, both from those of us at home and from our partners abroad. This is the undeniable sign of a booming economy. This is the unmistakable signal of a nation ripe for investment. The question no longer is if you would invest in Guyana, but can you really afford not to do so? We have a strong, healthy, and soaring economy. And guess what? The best is yet to come. Now, one may say, with such a glowing report card, maybe we can relax a bit, put our feet up, and enjoy the view for a moment. But none of that. It is harder work, stronger commitment, and unbelievable pace forward. There is no time to relax. There is no time to jolly or merry around the accomplishment. The only constant into the future is hard, consistent, faceless work. And that is what my government is guaranteeing the people of this country. Where is digitization? The first pillar of the new transformation is a digital revolution. We are launching a national digitization infrastructure that is second to none. An infrastructure that will hold the system accountable, that will drive efficiency, improve transparency, enhance productivity, improve capacity, and leapfrog our country into the future. Not following into the future, but leapfrogging our country into the future. The second pillar is industrialization. Building out industrial and manufacturing estates all across the country. Berbice, Molson Creek, Lethem, and more. Already in Linden, Lethem, and Region 2. In the 2026 budget, there will be special initiatives announced for investments for manufacturing and industrial development using local input in all of these areas, special tax incentives, and a special regime governing investment in these areas and in this sector. The third pillar is food security. And I'll come back to this in a few moments. It's positioning our country in the pole position in terms of food production, the value chain to create added value in the production process, the integration with our food production system with northern Brazil and the Caribbean, and the benchmarking of our food production system with the international market, ensuring that the value chain of productivity, marketability, and financial strength is integrated to bring about profitability and sustainability in the food production system. The fourth pillar is energy security. Energy security that will allow Guyana energy infrastructure to be integrated within the Guyana Shield, within South America, and within the Caribbean. An energy infrastructure that would leverage opportunities for our local private sector. An energy infrastructure that will leverage opportunities for investment for our diaspora. An energy infrastructure that will leverage investment from the pension funds and citizens of our region, giving them above market rates of return, safe returns through safe investment vehicles. The investment regime in this integrated approach is about making every dollar you own earn more money for you. It's about creating long-term and sustainable opportunities for every Guyanese family here and in the diaspora, for every member of the regional family, and for our international partners. The fifth pillar is climate and biodiversity services, positioning Guyana as a leader in climate and biodiversity services, ensuring that nature-based production, nature-based solution, whether for biopharma, agriculture, agroforestry, whether for manufacturing, housing development, nature-based solution and products are going to become the new norm of the new world. And we want to position Guyana through climate and biodiversity. And then the sixth pillar, tourism. We have already sent out an expression of interest for 9 areas where we want massive tourism projects of an international standard that are deeply integrated into the global eco and nature tourism market, because we are going to invest to position Guyana in the front as a front runner in eco and nature-based product. And soon, as the work continues and as we build support for something I want Guyana to achieve in 2030, we'll be able to tell you about an application that I've placed for one of the largest global events here in Guyana in 2030. But I want to ensure that we are on good footing, right, SG? All of this is about shock-proofing our future, shock-proofing our economy, ensuring that our economy is stabilized on different pillars of growth, that our economy is supported by varied components that can withstand the shocks and be resilient enough to lead us into a bright and prosperous future. Guyana is entering its golden age. Let there be no illusion. The path we have charted is not a gentle stroll. The journey ahead will demand our utmost effort, our unwavering resolve, and our shared sacrifice. The next 5 years will require immense heavy lifting, and every single one of us, from the entrepreneur in the industrial park to the farmer in the field, from the coder in the tech hub to the student in the classroom, all of us would have to be part of this lifting. But look at what we have accomplished. Look at the strength and resilience we have built. In 5 years, we must be proud. We must be proud of what we have accomplished. We must be proud of what we have achieved. And I want to come back now to 3 important themes. One is agro-processing. We are going to announce, which I will commence with now and refine in the budget of 2026, a series of incentives for tourism, agriculture, and industrial development that are second to none across the world. There will be the most generous, progressive, dynamic set of policies, incentives that we are going to pursue. We have looked at a policy framework of India, Brazil, United States, Morocco, China. And after studying all of these frameworks and the DR over the last 3 weeks, we have come up with a menu of measures that we are going to pursue in developing the largest agro-processing economy in this hemisphere. The building out of mega food parks. We will replicate the mega food parks across different regions with different focus. We will introduce the most progressive tax breaks on loans, financing, and taxation for investors in agriculture and agro-processing. We will have a dynamic integration with agro-industrial integration. We will expand our investment in research and development. We will build out a rural credit program at scale through the Guyana Development Bank. We will create value chain and market access. We'll pilot blockchain-based traceability for exports of our commodity. We will launch a food innovation fund, especially focusing on youth and young people. We are going to announce a series of investment that will open up new acreage. We'll pursue a taxation system, as I said, that will see 0% on all agriculture, veterinary input, and agro-processing input within existing trade framework. We'll have special incentives for agro-processing and agri-value chain investment, special incentive for large-scale cold storage facility, special incentives, and a graduated corporate tax regime for agro-processing by level of turnover, which will be defined in the 2026 budget. But this system would be graduated to the extent that small and medium-sized enterprises in the agribusiness ecosystem would see close to zero or zero in corporate tax. This will incentivize our agriculture businesses to register themselves so they're not afraid of the taxation system. So they become compliant. So we can help them to build their standards. And we can help them to adopt the value system that will give them access to regional and international markets. We'll have special incentives for land conversion and value addition that leads to sustainable income and income diversification. What do I mean? Our rice farmers, our small and medium-sized farmers, just giving the example of rice farmers, We're going to help rice farmers to convert at least 2 acres in every 10 acres into livestock farming, swine production, small ruminants, cage crabbing, and aquaculture. We are going to help them, support them in converting 2 acres in every 10 acres. That would allow them to achieve higher value of income. That would allow them to achieve diversification within their existing production frame. That would allow them to achieve resilience and profitability. We're going to incentivize mega-scale livestock farming. And we're going to invest in intelligence AI-led production system. Working with ICA and the FAO, we're going to launch the farmers application Farming in the Palm with extension services, scientific services, and technical services available 24/7 in real time on their devices. Those are the changes that we are going to pursue. And then we are going to develop, well, we have started already to put the mechanism in place for the Guyana Development Bank. The bank will be capitalized with a minimum of $200 million US. It will become operationalized before the end of the first quarter in 2026. As I speak to you, the administrative, legal, and regulatory framework is being crafted. The bank will be dynamically integrated with the commercial banks to leverage and unlock capital. A special incentive regime will be created to support lending to SMEs by the commercial banks, similar to the incentives we give them for housing. In exchange, the commercial banks will have to lower their interest rate to lower than 4% and also lower their collateral requirement for SMEs. The Guyana Development Bank will have no collateral requirement and 0% interest on loan up to a predetermined value to be announced in Budget 2026. The bank will focus heavily on the agriculture sector, the tourism sector, services sector, and any sector, any activity that deals with value creation. This, of course, would lead to the creation of thousands of business opportunities, tens of thousands of business opportunities. We're going to announce a special initiative with the Ministry of Human Services and Social Security that will convert more than 1,000 women we trained under the WIIN, the original and only WIN program, that will convert over 1,000 women into entrepreneurs. When you hear that announcement, the boldness of that announcement, not following anyone, but creating our own path to prosperity. I know you have heard enough, but there is still so much more I want to tell you. We're going to have a graduated taxation system to support local value creation and production in manufacturing and industry. We'll create the industrial and manufacturing hubs with a special incentive regime to back the investments. Already at Wales, we have crafted out an enormous program that would see a fertilizer plant, a gas bottling and logistics plant, 2 power plant, data center, the possibility of a glass factory, a small industrial estate, and guess what? For the 2 investment of the bottling plant and the fertilizer plant, where the expression of interests are already out, we want those to be owned by Guyanese here and in the diaspora and our regional partners. And we will have guaranteed returns on these investments that no other can match. Guaranteed return on those investments. Tourism is not only going to soar, tourism is going to explode. Airlift, investment in the transport system, 29 important airstrips in the hinterland are already identified for immediate rehabilitation and expansion. The new airports, municipal airports in Rose Hall and Lethem, the completion of Terminal 2 at the Chedijagan International Airport, the development of special incentive zones for investment in tourism, focusing first on the 9 areas in Region 2, Mashabo, Leg 1, Stabrook Waterfront, Bartika, the Breeding Hoop Waterfront, Sakaika, Lethem, Arunduk, all these areas. We have identified specific projects, and the response so far from major international players has been enormous. My friends, Gaia Expo 2025 is about our people. It's about our culture. It's about our innovation. It's about our future. It's about our connectivity. It's about networking. It's about belief. It's about confidence. It is about one Guyana. It is about our future. Let us embrace that future. Let us pursue that future. Let us be relentless. Let us love our country. Love each other. Lift each other up. And let us build a Guyana that is resilient, strong, stable, and forever ours to uphold and upkeep. Thank you, and God bless you.
Ladies and gentlemen, our very own President Ali, thank you so much for those inspiring words, and please do us the honors of remaining on stage for our next feature. Put your hands together once again for His Excellency. Now, ladies and gentlemen, Gaia Expo began way back in 1995, and for decades, we've had individuals and companies who've stayed committed to showing up, exhibiting, monitoring, and believing in brand Guyana. Tonight, it is our distinct pleasure to honor these persons, rocking with Gaia Expo for over 30 years, beginning with Ansa McCall Distribution Inc., a company that has grown from just 5 products to a powerful portfolio of over 3,000, distributing world-class brands with a focus on operational excellence, efficient delivery, and industry-leading brand management. Receiving this award on behalf of Ansa McCall is Mr. Troy Cadogan, and we have Minister of Tourism also joining us to present the award. Let's put our hands together for Ansa McCall. Thank you so much for remaining committed to Guy Expo. Our next awardee is Brass, Aluminum, and Cast Iron Foundry, also known as BASF. Founded in 1959, BASF has grown from a four-man shop into a pillar of manufacturing and engineering excellence, specializing in pattern and design, foundry technology, metal machining, welding, and fabrication. Today, the company supports over 60 employees and actively builds national capacity through skills development and technical training in line with Guyana's development agenda. Receiving on behalf of BASF, we have Mr. Peter Pompey. Put your hands together. Congratulations. Our next honoree gave us the iconic Bangs beer. Can we guess who it is? Bangs DIH, which has evolved from a small rum distillery into one of Guyana's leading conglomerates, producing award-winning beverages, food products, and restaurant services. Bangs DIH is a true household name, backed by international certifications in food safety and quality that keep Guyanese products on par with global standards. Let's put our hands together and congratulate Bangs DIH. And receiving this award, we have Mr. Mortimer Stewart. And as announced by President, next year they'll also be making one of the largest investments in snacks productions. Let's put our hands together once again as we congratulate Bangs DIH. Our fourth honoree this evening is Comfort Sleep Inc. from Humble Beginnings. In Riverview, Rumveld, Mr. Dennis Charan has risen from hardship to become one of Guyana's own mattress mogul, building Comfort Sleep Inc. into one of the largest mattress manufacturers, not just in South America, ladies and gentlemen, but the second largest in the Caribbean. Through his resilience in the face of tragedy, continuous innovation, and exceptional customer care, regional exports, and years of dedicated philanthropy, we would like to congratulate Mr. Charan himself receiving this award. Congratulations. And he's also being challenged by His Excellency to innovate the Stay Awake pillow. Hopefully he can do that. Put your hands together for Mr. Charan. Moving right along, our next awardee is no other than FiberTech Industrial Plastics. And for over 32 years, FiberTech has proudly served as Guyana's manufacturing sector, one of the leading fiberglass manufacturer, creating jobs and promoting local production across multiple industries. This company delivers durable custom solutions to clients nationwide while upholding international standards, innovation, and good governance. Receiving this award on behalf of FiberTech, we have Ms. Dionarine Barat as she comes to receive the award. Let's congratulate FiberTech Industrial Plastics. The mobile. And soon the mobile pools, they'll be doing that in Guyana. Thank you, Mr. President. Moving right along, it is no surprise that this next group is coming next. This is GoInvest, Guyana Office for Investments. And GoInvest is the primary national agency driving investment promotion and export development, helping to attract and support both local and foreign investors in projects that fuel growth, jobs, and innovation. At this very critical point in Guyana's economic story, GoInvest continues to play a central role in shaping a business-friendly environment president, and this year leads the BizLink initiative that we mentioned earlier, happening tomorrow right here at Guy Expo. Receiving this award is Mr. Toboga Christian. Let's put our hands together for Go Invest. We're down to our 8th awardee, Global Technology Inc., and this one is one of Guyana's leading private institutions for technical and vocational education, specializing in information technology, academic programs, and oil and gas training, aligned, of course, with global standards. Receiving on behalf of the company is Ms. Jacqueline Weeks, and of course, Guy Expo would not be celebrating 30 years without their support. We congratulate Global Technology Inc. Hardcore Art and Craft is our next recipient, led by self-taught sculptor and jeweler designer Kenneth Nelson. He's proudly Guyanese and a creative brand whose work has been showcased across the country, the region, and beyond. Rooted in rich African culture, spirituality, and storytelling, Hardcore Art and Craft is dedicated to inspiring especially the next generation of artists while delivering unique, high-quality pieces that gives true value for money. Tonight, we congratulate Mr. Kenneth Nelson. Moving right along, our 10th awardee this evening is the new GPC Inc. Now, with a legacy of excellence in pharmaceutical manufacturing spanning nearly a century, New GPC Inc. has grown into the region's largest producer of prescription as well as over-the-counter medicines. From its state-of-the-art facility at Farm, East Bank, Demerara, the company manufactures over 200 products, which continues to advance healthcare in Guyana and across the wider Caribbean. We are so happy to congratulate our 10th awardee, New GPC Inc., and receiving this award is the beautiful Miss Elizabeth Ram. Let's put our hands together for them. Home to Limacal. An authentic Guyanese brand. Now we're moving right along. Our next legacy award goes to no other than Sterling Products Limited. And for over 70 years, Sterling Products has been a proud Guyanese household name, evolving from a small margarine and soap manufacturer, for those of you who can remember, into a major force now in our manufacturing sector. So guys, when you think Igloo ice cream, Mighty Foam, Golden Cream margarine, and so many of the staples in our kitchens, you certainly think Sterling. And of course, as an ambassador for this company myself, I'm also proud to let you guys know, one of the things I love about Sterling is that they support our local farmers. So let's put our hands together. For Sterling Products Limited, receiving the award is Mr. Delon Lynch. I saw that. I had to stick that in there. Our 12th awardee tonight is Serums Jewelry and Mold Shop, ladies and gentlemen. Serums Jewelry is a homegrown enterprise that manufactures and sells fine jewelry, mold patterns, as well as gift bags and boxes. By combining craftsmanship, design, and entrepreneurial spirit, Serums Jewelry helps to elevate Guyanese artistry and supports the wider craft and gift-making ecosystems. Collecting this award tonight is Mrs. Seram herself, the boss. And tonight we just want to say thank you so much again for your invaluable contributions. And our final awardee tonight, ladies and gentlemen, is Twin Manufacturing Chemists. Founded in 1971, this company has now grown into one of Guyana's leading and internationally recognized manufacturers of pharmaceuticals, personal care, and home care products, with nearly 100 locally produced items distributed across Guyana and overseas. We are very happy to congratulate Twins Manufacturing Chemists, which has been with Guy Expo for 30 years. Now, I did miss one of them. Hi, Janelle. We need to make President a brand ambassador. Oh, lovely, lovely, lovely. Put our hands together for our president. Also receiving tonight, but not present to receive the award, is Demerara Distillers Limited. No surprise there. They are a leading manufacturing powerhouse and, of course, internationally recognized for one of our world-famous El Dorado rums. At the same time, DDL is a top local producer of non-alcoholic beverages, water, juices, and the list goes on. They are deeply committed to national development. And of course, we want to congratulate them for being a part of Guy Expo's legacy for 30 years. They're under the spell of El Dorado, and that's why they're not here tonight. They're actually here tonight, just a little tired. But we want to congratulate all of our recipients, because without the persons who remain committed to the legacy of Guy Expo, it would not be what it is. We're celebrating 30 years, and of course, we're celebrating all of our awardees tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together once again. Thank you so much. Now it's almost time for the ribbon cutting ceremony to officially mark Guy Expo Open. But before we get to that, we want to really take this opportunity to encourage Guyanese from all across the country. And we know that Guy Expo attracts Guyanese from all of the regions to come out and be a part of the exhibition for the next 4 days. There are lots of prizes to be won. And I know Minister Susan Rodriguez mentioned that we have almost 300 exhibitors at this year's Guy Expo. We want to encourage you to visit the booths. I know there's some highlights. I believe at the Guyana Tourism booth, there is the Tourism Theater, which will be showcasing documentaries on our tourism product and so much more. Rodeo team is also here with us, and of course, there are activities for the adults and kids. Ladies and gentlemen, we want to now invite the president and his team, which will be led by a procession over to the ribbon cutting area. But on behalf of the Guy Expo team, and of course, everyone that played a role in the execution of Guy Expo 2025, we want to say thank you, and thank you so much for joining us.